hesitant but hopeful about Fi. Just need a nudge. Alrighty, let's get into this. Howdy, Fi guys. I've been listening to the show for a while now, quietly on my commute, during walks, or when I need something to ground me. Nice.
Cool.
I really admire how down to earth you guys are in your conversations, and you don't sugarcoat things, but you also make it feel like it's possible. That being said, I'm a bit stuck. Alrighty. Hence the letter. I've been thinking about pursuing financial independence for months now, maybe even years, but I haven't taken any real steps. I'll run a few numbers and get excited for a day or two, and then fall back into old habits, spending too much money, avoiding my budget, and telling myself, I'll get serious next month. I think a lot of people can relate to this, myself included. Honestly, I think I'm scared. Scared that I'll try and fail. Scared that I'll have to give up everything fun in the process. Shouldn't. Scared that maybe I'm too late or behind to even bother getting started. I don't come from money. No one ever taught me this stuff growing up, and sometimes when I hear people talk about FI, or financial independence, it sounds like a club for people who already had a head start. I want to believe that it's possible for someone like me, but I need to hear it straight. So my question is, what would you say to someone who's on the fence, who wants this, but is paralyzed by fear, self-doubt, and a sense that it might be already too late? I know I need to change. I just don't know where to begin without overwhelming myself and giving up again. Thanks for all that you do. You make this feel less lonely. Oh, alrighty. Finance can be a scary, lonely path. That's why we always say try and go with a friend, right? From I dream of Fi, but stall with fear, hoping clarity will soon appear. Alrighty. Interesting. A lot of little lines in there that have me worried, have me concerned about this person. You want to start it off, Chris?
Yeah, the first thing I want to say is when it comes to this person, they say that they will sometimes get started, they'll start, then it goes. And knowledge is usually not the issue. Consistency is the issue. And that consistency is what we talked about earlier on with the 5 pillars. It's that why, the clarity over confusion. Understanding why are you doing this? What do you think, Dom?
You know, my thought process all my life has been if you're too scared to do it, you don't want it bad. And it's a very harsh and mean way of thinking. And I don't think it's always correct. But then again, we're usually hardest on ourselves. But this quote I heard a couple weeks back, it kind of hit me because, you know, I feel fear too, right? Just because we post podcasts doesn't mean we're immortal all of a sudden, right? I'm a human just like you, and I feel fear. And that's good. It's good to feel fear. It's very good to feel fear because, you know, you're pushing yourself past what you think you can even do, right? And one of the quotes that often rattles in my mind is, if you're too afraid to do it, you don't deserve success, right? I'm not saying that's what's happening here. This is my inner dialogue for me. But I think getting to the root of why are you scared, right? I know you said you're scared of quitting, right? You're scared of, you know, stopping again, right? Well, that comes from discipline, right? How disciplined are you? Can you find a section in your life where you can draw kind of, I don't know what the right word is, you can draw motivation from, you can draw experience from, right? This beautiful script I heard once was, I haven't been going to I haven't gone to the gym in years. That's good. You've been consistently not going to the gym for years. You're consistent. You know how to be consistent. We just need to flip it, right? You already have the ability to do that. So I think one of the things that kind of, when I was reading this, I was thinking about was, I know there's something in your life you're consistent on. I know it, right? You're not a baby. You're not a child. You're not just born, right? I hope not, right? Although you'd be a pretty intelligent baby for writing up this beautiful paragraph.
Yeah, you're way ahead of the curve.
You're way ahead of the game. Yeah, this is a genius level baby. But there's things in your life that you are consistent on. you do have discipline with, right? I assume you eat at least once a day. You're not going starving, right? I assume you get enough sleep, enough, right? So you have consistency, right? You have the discipline to do things. We just need to expand that discipline a little bit and understand it's like, hey, it's not as scary as we think. Most of life's fears, it's only in the mind. Because remember, there's a difference between fear and danger. Like danger is real, right? A guy walks into my house right now with a bat. I'm like, wow, that's danger. He's not supposed to be here, right? If I'm about to give a presentation in front of 1,000 people, right, and I feel fear, well, I'm not in any real danger. My life isn't at risk, right? It's just anxiety. It's just fear, and fear can be tampered down. Anxiety can be tampered down. One of the things that he said in here was, "I fear it might be too late." Now, I'm very optimistic. That's just who I am. I'm a big optimist, and it gets annoying sometimes for other people, I'm sure. But I don't believe it's ever too late. You can always make things better, even if you're at the end. You can always change the way you think about things. And I honestly I hate the advice I'm going to give because I just hate it. But it's good. It's good advice. It's like you need to change how you see yourself. You need to change the mindset. You need to change the way you're seeing things, right? The way you're seeing things. Dude, I'm guessing you're in America, at least a first world country, right? This is great. You have the idea to change. Most people don't even have the inclination to change. They don't want to change. They don't even know how to change. You've already started down this process. So while you're thinking, "Hey man, I'm way behind," dude, no, you're ahead. You're ahead of so many people. But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's fictitious. It is what it is. It's a fugazi motivation, right? And we're not looking for the motivations. I'm ahead of everybody. It's like that feels good. I totally get it. It feels so good, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, right? You're ahead of yourself. You're the best version of yourself that you've ever been. You're better than you were 3 years ago. You're more knowledgeable and you're more bold. I mean, look, he wrote into a podcast. That's a bold move. I love that. Chris, what do you think?
One thing that when I look on here, there's a bunch of things, but one of the things that he said is that he's scared of losing all the fun in the process, scared of maybe it being too late, scared of failing. Dominic, how long is right now?
It's right now.
Yep, it's gone.
It's just left.
Yep. Here's a new now. New now. Okay. Yep. I don't need you to be Mr. Budget, Mr. Finance forever. I need you to be a little bit better right now. And now that's gone. In the next moment, you can choose if you want to do it again. If you find that financial independence is ruining your life, taking all the fun, taking all of the fear, taking all of the things, taking everything away from you, you can choose to stop. But I can tell you from doing this for a long time, I have never met a single person who has said that learning about financial independence, that pursuing the path of financial independence has in any way made their life worse. There are people that take it to extremes, that start reusing toilet paper or like doing crazy stuff to try to save money. That is not what we are trying to tell you here at the Fi Guys podcast. I am saying that if you just take control of your thing, if you get out of the hamster wheel of life, if you decide to take a different path than what is normally prescribed, the normal path is go to school, go to college, get a job, work for the next 45 years, get a pension, die. That doesn't work anymore. There are no pensions. Working 45 years for a company doesn't matter anymore because they're not going to reward you anyways. Going to college is going to put you $300,000 in debt. Traditional schooling does literally nothing for you, or figuratively nothing for you.
Yeah.
We're in a different system. And if you want to be in that system, that's fine. But sometimes you have to buck the system. You have to do something completely different. And you want to do it for right now. Try it. And if you don't like it, you can always decide, I don't want to do this anymore. You get to have a new now. And that new now, you can choose whatever you want. But again, I have never met anybody who has pursued financial independence and said they made their life worse if they pursued it the right way. If you continue to listen to the Fi Guys, continue to learn, continue to get better. If you think that from here to financial independence is too big of a chasm to jump, you're 100% correct. It is right now. I'm not asking you to go from where you are right now to financial independence. I'm asking you to get 1% better. If that means just opening up your bank accounts tomorrow and just being like, all right, this is where I am. That's all it is. If it means opening a bank account, that's all it is. You said that you feel like you're behind. If you listen to our podcast regularly, it means you have headphones. It means you have an iPhone or a Samsung. You have some sort of phone. You're in the top 1% of civilization. There are people right now who are going to wake up in dirt floors in a dirt house or on the dirt with maybe a piece of tin over their head. They don't even know what questions to ask and not ask. They don't know about financial independence. They don't know any about this stuff. And there are people that come into this country or go into different countries all the time who escape some of the worst tragedies that we could imagine in order to make themselves better. And when they succeed, we still don't like them because they show us what we are incapable of doing. Not because they're more capable than us, but because we have too much fear to even start, to even try. So if you're on the fence, you need to look at yourself. Why are you on the fence? Why do you want to pursue financial independence? Because if it's too hard for you, then maybe you just don't want it enough. And that's okay. If you decide this isn't for me, that's completely fine. But it sounds to me, if you're writing on this podcast, that you want something different for yourself. Why is that? Is it for yourself? Is it for your family? Because if it's me, I'm going to try to make that thing something bigger than me. I don't want to just become financially independent because I don't want to work anymore. I want to be financially independent so that I can spend every moment with my child when they're eventually born. Every moment with my wife that I possibly can. How cool is it that on a Friday, midday, Dominic and I can hop on a podcast together? Like, we don't have work, we don't have anything. I get to sit here all day and unpack my house and keep on working on these things. Because at one point, I took an unconventional path. It's not too late. It is never too late. Even in the last inning, you could still try something. Might not win you the game, but it'll put you in a better situation or maybe help somebody else in their game.
100%. 100%. I love that. Well, I hope that helps. I hope that you take action. I hope you find your why. And I hope that pushes you over the edge and into the water. And I hope you know how to swim. But you got this. You got this. Just one step at a time. One step at a time gets you there. And really fall in love with the journey, right? Don't fall in love with the destination. Fall in love with the journey. You'll go so much further if you love the journey versus just the destination. You know, the quote we always say is, the man who loves walking will go further than the man who loves the destination.
Yeah, it's really important. The success is not guaranteed, but the struggle is. The struggle is the journey. It is guaranteed. So you get to choose which way you want to suffer.
Exactly.
And suffering on the path of financial independence, from my estimation, has done nothing for me but positive. There were negative, but that's because I took it to a negative place. I went too extreme. I misread the balance. And luckily, that could be changed at any moment. Once you wake up, once you become conscious, once you understand that what you're doing is not helping serve the person that you want to be. This video podcast is sponsored by Monzon Wealth. The content in this podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. We do not endorse specific products or services. Past performance does not guarantee future results. The opinions expressed are those of the host and guests, not the podcast sponsor.
It is crucial to consult with a qualified financial advisor or professional who can provide advice tailored to your specific needs before making any financial decisions, investments, or taking any other actions. If you are seeking specified help, you can reach out to Chris at monzonwealth.com.